So we didn't do an iFanboy Christmas tree this year?
I thought you were in charge of it.
No, Conor was in charge of decorations.
This episode of iFanboy is brought to you by Squarespace and Gamefly.
Hey, welcome to iFanboy, the video show from the website iFanboy.com. My name is Conor Kilpatrick, and I am here with
Ron Richards.
and
I am Josh Flanagan. It's the holidays.
It's the most wonderful time of the year.
He likes to sing.
I love Christmas.
You don't know about the rights to that
and the
song?
holidays.
Christmas, Hanukkah, all the holidays are coming up.
I love it. Love it.
As in years past, we like to say some of the things that we've really enjoyed that have come out, and some of the things that we think would make really good comic gifts, either for yourself, which is what most of you are going to do, or for other people, because it's always good to show other people what there is in comics.
The iFanboy Holiday Buyer's Guide.
Exactly. We're putting this out a little earlier than last year because there's still time to shop.
And we learned how to plan.
Exactly. So
Oh, it took us 2 years.
So we got a big stack of books that can cater to all types. So let's dive right in.
Yes. First up, we have a trifecta of the best.
Alan Moore books.
Of the best of Alan Moore.
This is a good year for an Alan Moore fan.
Yeah, if you like oversized, hardy Alan Moore collections, then this is the year for you. We've got Absolute Promethea, book 1 came out. This is notable for a lot of you who may not have read it the first time around, but the art is by J.H. Williams III.
Who is currently kicking ass on Detective Comics.
Exactly.
This is the old America's Best Comics series.
I have a hard time explaining what this book is.
If you are a woman who's into comics... No, seriously.
No, I know a lot of female fans who love Promethea.
Really empowering, strong female
it's also
character.
Mysticism, metaphysics stuff, if you're into that kind of thing.
Egyptian kind of, totally. So, for the feminist in your life, get Promethea. Seriously.
And also, it's just for an art fan.
If you
know, the art in it is spectacular. It's Alan Moore really exploring a lot of far out concepts.
And for the art fan, this would be the perfect format because it's huge.
Oh, it's beautiful.
Yes, it's absolutely beautiful.
It's absolutely beautiful.
Exactly. Next up, in the
Beautiful
same vein,
slipcase.
also from the America's Best line was Tom Strong. They're coming out in the deluxe hardcover editions. It's not as
not quite this size, but it's pretty close.
It's big and it's beautiful. Tom Strong is really more of a pulp hero sort of thing. It takes a character
like
that
a Doc Savage. Almost,
older, sort of a throwback kind of character who's all good. Yeah. And Tom is a science hero. You will never hear Alan Moore say superhero. He says science hero. Tom is a guy who knows science, and he's very strong, and he goes to different worlds.
Meets Superman.
Meets Doc Savage.
A
lot of different things with art by Chris Sprouse, and really
great art.
Yeah, the Chris Sprouse art is kind of the draw on this one. The stories are fun. Definitely, but Sprouse is somebody who's really got a very special, very simple cartoon style.
I love the brawny style. Like everyone is sort of big, chested and shouldered.
There's a monkey.
And there's a gorilla in it.
There's a smart gorilla with glasses.
And what's really nice is that there's really big ideas in it. There's really neat ideas.
That was the time in comics, right? The early 2000s was this time of big idea comics, and that was one of the big idea ones. Josh is one of Josh's favorite books.
This might be my favorite Alan Moore
V for Vendetta.
When this one came out,
edition.
I was willing to go out and cut throats on the street to get a copy of the Absolute.
I was there. It wasn't pretty.
And they've formatted it and put it in the Absolute size. The art by David Lloyd it's spectacular.
So if you have someone in your life who liked the movie with Natalie Portman, that was a big fan of it, and they didn't read the book for some reason when the movie came out, now's the time to get them the book.
It is a different story. I mean, basically the same thing, but they changed things around a lot in this.
As they're off to do.
Or for your anti-establishment teenage son.
Yeah, it's a really great book to read around the time of 18, 19 years old, something like that, and you're really just starting to...
I was going to say to read it around November.
That too. It's about...
Fucking authority, basically.
Imagine that there was an apocalyptic war that took place, and England sealed itself off and was taken over by a fascist dictatorship. And this is the England of that. It takes place in, 1998.
You made a bold statement about this.
This is, I think this is better than Watchmen.
Boom.
There you go. There it is. There it is. Put that on a jacket cover.
I think it's not based on... as far as I know, God, somebody's going to write back and be wrong about this, but it's not like Watchmen is based on taking other things and sort of subverting. This is a story that exists on its own, and the art by David Lloyd really is something special. Whereas I think Dave Gibbons' art in Watchmen says something. There's a style that works with it, but this is more original, I think.
Can you hand me that so I can hit him with it?
Yeah.
All right. I'll hit him after the show.
It smells fantastic. I don't know why that is.
You gotta love the big absolutes, and we've got a couple of other types of big, kind of packaging. One thing I love about being a comic fan now at the holidays is the hardcover editions, and the really nice collected editions for your library are getting so. I'm at like 10 years ago how different the world is now between the collected editions. It's great. It's a great time to be a fan.
Fables, Volume 1, also a deluxe edition hardcover.
One of Ron's favorites.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's right on my top of my Christmas list. Please, Santa.
However, notwithstanding Ron's opinions, it's a very fun series, and it appeals to a wide range of people. If you've heard about Fables, what it is they've taken many, many fables, and they said, well, what if they all got driven out of their homelands of magic?
Characters from Fables.
Yes, Snow White,
the Big Bad Wolf,
Cinderella,
King Cole.
Yeah.
So
all these public domain characters from children's stories.
What if they lived in a land where all their stories happened, and they were driven from that and driven to our world?
And they take up in New York City, and they have to deal. They have powers and magic,
and they're trying to stay secret.
Right.
And so, for the English major in your life, the literary type,
or perhaps a kid that's grown out of the fairy tales themselves.
Yep.
And it's a little bit older.
It's not a kid's book though. It's
but you got like young teenage.
Imagination. I can give it to a 14-year-old.
They're swearing and sex and nudity.
I was reading Dark Knight when I was 12.
I'm just saying.
Yeah. We're bad parents. That's what it comes down to.
Yeah.
But for the college student, I think this is a great one.
Yep.
English major.
And it keeps going. It's a very nice presentation of it. It's Mark Buckingham art. It's bigger than normal.
Yeah.
Very good.
Yeah. Very good.
Do you know any Canadians?
Well, come on down to Canadian bar.
The Canadian in your life, or the person in your life who likes really touching, emotional kind of stories.
Yep.
And hockey.
We've talked about it before. I believe we recommended it last year in the holidays. But they finally, this year, they've collected Essex County, the Essex County trilogy, all 3 volumes, into one beautiful volume. This is the softcover version.
There's a hardcover and a softcover.
There's a hardcover that is even more beautiful. It's got that like textured cover where it feels like burlap. Jeff Lemire is this
Smells
year.
Like bacon.
That'd be awesome.
And you could use it as a hockey puck. Any more Canadian stereotypes we can get in? It's a very nice book.
Jeff Lemire is
apologizes a lot.
Jeff Lemire is one of the leading rising stars of the kind of indie kind of scene.
He's got Sweet Tooth coming out for DC.
At Vertigo, this was the work that put him on the map, and
still his best work.
The second volume is the best one.
Second one rips your heart out, stamps on it, uses it as a hockey puck, hits it into the net.
So good. So Essex County, you can't go wrong.
This is a great book to give to anyone who likes to read. I mean, not like somebody who only watches Bruckheimer movies.
Yeah. It's a very family-oriented, it's a very quiet story.
The art is he's got a distinctive art style, which can be a little at first off-putting, but by the end of it, you fall in love with it.
It perfectly expresses the emotion that he needs to express.
For our manga fans out there, you might know.
Or foodies.
Exactly. Or foodies, people who are into cooking, restaurants, that sort of thing. I've discovered this year a wonderful series by Viz Media called Oishinbo, which is Oishinbo a la carte, which is an adventure through Japanese cuisine in manga form.
It's very much similar to Project X Challenges, which we recommended, I think, on the previous or one of the previous shows. Also, our all-time favorite manga.
Yep.
Food-based manga.
Fantastic. It's the adventure of a guy who's a writer for a newspaper who's writing an article about the ultimate menu, about what it would look like of Japanese cuisine. So therefore, he needs to eat everything. And it goes down to the history of Japanese cuisine, the cutlery and the tools they use to cook, the different types of food they use to make it. This is volume 1, just called Japanese Cuisine. There's, I think, 5 volumes out now that cover...
In the U.S.
In the U.S., yeah. This has been ongoing since the 80s in Japan.
8,000 of them.
But the ones that are out currently, there's one dedicated to sushi, one dedicated to gyoza, one dedicated to sake, one dedicated to vegetables. If you're into manga, it's easy because it's manga, but if you're into food, this is really into cooking. If you watch the Food Network, it's a unique way to celebrate food, and it's written really smart. And there's the standard Japanese manga relationships, the guy and the girl, and the guy and his father.
So if you've got somebody in your family who's a huge Top Chef fan, and you think, or Iron Chef, and you think, I'd like to give them something really different, this would be a good choice.
Oishinbo, totally. Viz Media, it's awesome. So,
all right, we will be right back with even more as our Christmas tree of comics
dwindles.
This episode of iFanboy is brought to you by GameFly. GameFly is the largest online video game rental service and offers you a choice from over 6,000 new and classic titles across all consoles and handhelds. Plans start at just $15.95 a month, and GameFly members can rent from 1 to 4 games at a time and keep them as long as they want. No late fees, no due dates, and shipping is always free. If you're done with the game, slip it back in the envelope, send it back, and they'll send you the next game on your list. If you really like a game you're playing, you can just click Keep It on the GameFly site, and that game's all yours at a discounted price. iFanboy fans can get a free 2-week trial when they go to www.gamefly.com/iFanboy. Thanks to GameFly, I've been able to play Batman Arkham Asylum on my 360. And I'm kicking the Joker's butt. This episode is also sponsored by Squarespace.com. We've already told you about Squarespace, where you can go to make any kind of website that you need to help your business or your personal site. You can manage your entire Squarespace site on the go now with the new Squarespace iPhone application. You can post and edit blog entries, upload pictures on the fly, manage content, save drafts, preview your updates, and access all your site statistics anytime you need to. The Squarespace iPhone app has a completely custom user interface developed in-house to match your Squarespace site's look and feel. Snap photos on your phone, quickly post them to your blog, or easily draft posts from your post tab. All of your current tags and categories will be there. You can also preview your site live. Double check your work before you click publish with the app's preview tab. Go to squarespace.com for your free 2-week trial and let them know iFanboy sent you.
We've got even more diverse gift ideas for comic book readers
gonna get good.
in your life. It's going to get good. There's something you may not have heard of before. It's Split Lip, which is a collection of horror comics done by a guy named Sam Costello. Savvy iFanboy readers may know that Sam had a column on iFanboy many years ago.
Yeah.
Like 10 years ago.
Yeah, like he disappeared and went off to do God knows what, and comes back, and he's putting out these original short horror stories on his website. We'll put the site up here. But he also produced this anthology of short stories with all sorts of different artists of all different types, but they're short horror stories, and it's something that is not really being done that much. It's not a zombie book. It's not vampires. It's actual straight up short horror stories, and it's an indie book. And if you like that kind of thing, it's definitely worth supporting. And you can go check out all of his stuff at his website.
Yeah. So Split Lip, check it out.
Volume 1.
So the classic comics fan, there's somebody who's a real diehard comics fan in your life,
Especially British comics.
Especially British comics, and they don't have Tank Girl. Now they can get them back. Tank Girl is back in print.
Titan Books are putting them out in these new volumes. I think 3 is out now.
Yep. So. Jamie Hewlett is most well-known work. If there's somebody in your life who liked the Gorillas a couple of years ago, Jamie Hewlett did all the artwork. Jamie
Hewlett's everywhere. He's like a hipster artist. You know what I mean? Like when they put his name to it,
it's cool.
Yeah.
So these are great collections reprinting the original Tank Girl series, which is much better than the movie was. So also, if there's somebody in your life who's really into alternative comics or indie comics, this will blow their mind if they've never read it. So,
it's sort of a seminal work in 90s alternative comics.
Yeah, really great stuff. So
there's a lot of good crime comics out right now. This last year's been a good year for crime comics. Vertigo and DC's been putting out these little digest-sized crime books. I think there's...
It's my bookmark.
It's a bookmark that fell out.
I read them.
I think there's been 3 out.
3, yep.
This is one of them. Brian Azzarello wrote this one with Victor Santos on art, and these are great for the crime fan.
Filthy Rich is my favorite of the ones that have come out so far. One of them was also an original Hellblazer story. This is a straight up, I think it's like the early mid-60s, down on his luck football player who broke his knee and couldn't go, and he has to end up working at a car dealership, and he's no good at anything, and he ends up sort of being a tough guy and swept up in this whole nightlife and all this.
Well, there's a woman that gets in trouble.
He becomes a bodyguard of a woman, and almost as if like it takes place in the '60s, but like imagine if it was now. I heard Azzarello in an interview say in his head he had Paris Hilton's bodyguard.
It's very much what it's like. She's a socialite.
Yeah.
These digests are nice little contained. They're self-contained stories. They're beginning, middle, and an end all in one book. Hardcover, beautiful package.
Wonderful lighting in this book. It really feels like watching a black and white crime film.
Victor Santos is a good artist.
Yeah.
I mean, like it's really and it matches the story really well.
I could tell the difference between the characters, which is difficult when they're all humans in suits in black and white. That's no small thing.
Not easy.
Really enjoyable. It's one of my favorite Brian Azzarello stories in a while. Definitely worth taking out.
Yeah, it's good, and the price is right too.
Yep.
Yeah.
And the cops are coming for noir books.
Right during the crime series. So, Criminal, the collection.
This is the new hardcover collection that came out at the end of this year.
2009.
Into 2009. Yeah.
Holy shit.
This collects, I think, up to the current series.
Yep.
Everything of the first volume of Criminal up, and it is a beautiful, oversized edition.
If you've been listening to iFanboy, you know that Criminal is one of our favorite books.
It's one of my top 5 books. I think it's one of your top 5 books.
Coming out since it has been.
Ed Brubaker writing, Sean Phillips drawing. I gotta say, I love the. We've seen a lot of these collected editions. We've seen a lot of dust jackets with like the plain kind of things. I really like the printed on the cover versions
I'm a
of
big
these.
fan of that.
It's got texture to it.
Yeah, because it's got some color to it.
Yeah.
And this cover.
Yeah.
One of my favorite covers. I remember I did this in my top 10 covers of last year.
Yeah.
The other thing, Sean Phillips is one of my favorite artists. He's as good a storyteller. And Val Staples is
Val Staples killing it on the colors. Yeah.
Yep.
So if you've got someone in your life who's a big crime fan, maybe they don't read comics, but they like crime movies or novels, this is the best crime comic coming out. And also, you get a cover gallery, and also they put some of the extras from the issues are in here. They said they wouldn't, but they put some of them in there.
Right.
Some of the essays
And some of the process stuff for for
Process Junkies. It's a great collection.
Yeah.
It's a wonderful set
one of the best books out.
And it's
out
as good of comics as being produced right now.
Oh yeah, absolutely. One of the best books.
It smells nice too.
Let me completely and totally shift gears from the crime thing. If you know any gamers, you know anybody who likes web strips, and you've ever heard of Scott Kurtz's PvP, which you must have at this point, there's the Awesomology from Image Comics.
Great name.
Yeah.
Which is, look at this thing. It's
ridiculous.
It's all of the webcomics, I believe. It's a huge, massive, what are we at? About 600 pages. For this thing. This
is my favorite webcomic. I think it's the funniest webcomic that I read regularly. It's if you're on the geek culture, it hits every button. Gamers, people who like Star Wars, comic books, technology, Star Trek.
We're all nerds. I mean, we're all geeks.
Childs of the 80s, lots of Dukes of Hazzard references in here.
Well, what's neat is that if you go, I have read through all of the web strips, but if you go back to the beginning, you get to see how it looks.
The progression.
You see his evolve. It's kind of like, remember when those little Garfield books came out?
Oh yeah.
And
Garfield at large.
Yeah, exactly. And you would see
the old ones.
The old same with Peanuts and same with stuff like that. So
Doonesbury.
It really moves Kurtz up to realize he's been doing this since the late 90s.
10 years at least. And one of the things about Kurtz is that he's funny. He's really funny.
He's very funny.
If you've ever heard him speak, he's really, really funny. Yeah. But also, there are moments in here. There's actual real moments of genius in here.
Oh, there are absolutely. Yeah.
And they will sneak up on you because there's a lot of stupid, silly jokes and whatever. There's nothing wrong with that. But occasionally, you'll be like, "Wow, he really did something neat there." And it's really a great strip, and what a wonderful collection.
Yeah, it's really cool. So
I'm on QVC.
I know we are. So gamers in your life, geeks, this sort of thing, they'll eat this up. They'll love it. I mean,
that's funny. I just read one while you were talking.
Nice. This book really has the most crossover potential across different groupings. You know,
geek,
like
geek
nerds,
culture,
geeks,
geek culture,
like
people in the computers
there
or
are smaller
gaming.
You can get in with, but look at this thing. It's an Awesomology.
It's a great present.
This is what I'm going to hit you with for the Watchmen thing earlier.
Nice.
After the show. I'm keeping it right here.
I think I can take you down with V.
Anyway.
Well, we'll see.
So,
we're going to have an absolute fight.
So if you're looking for, if you got some kids, maybe some older kids, late elementary school or whatever, Marvel's The Wonderful Wizard of Oz by Eric Schanauer and Scotty Young recently came out in hardcover. Beautiful adaptation of L. Frank Baum's Wizard of Oz book. Not the movie, so keep that in mind.
It's different.
A little different, a little darker. It is kind of dark.
Scarier.
But Scotty Young is killing this on the artwork. It's unlike anything I've ever seen.
One of the best looking books I read this year.
Yeah.
Just gorgeous. I bought this collection instead of the issues because it's really nice presentation. You get some nice extras, you get some character studies, how he came up with the looks for the characters, and just beautiful.
Nice crossover potential.
Oh, huge.
Any kid who is a fan of the Wizard of Oz line of books or anything like that must have this in their library. So this is a great one.
You know, or like if you have like a teenager who'd really liked it but is a little older now.
Yeah.
This is sort of a more
kind of go back to their childhood.
Yeah.
Type
And it's adult enough where
you
can they don't feel like they're reading a kid's book. It's definitely good stuff in there.
So what do you get me for Christmas?
The Awesomology. Would you like your early gift?
Well, I had my eye on something else.
Well, if you got a big X-Men fan in your life, the guy who perhaps knows way too much about Scott Summers, Astonishing X-Men Omnibus from Marvel, collecting Joss Whedon and John Cassiday's new classic run on X-Men.
Modern classic. Probably the best the X-Men's been since the 80s.
And nothing since then.
Nothing since then.
This is my favorite run of X-Men in the modern age, and this is a great book for people know the X-Men.
Yep.
And I think
3 movies in Hollywood.
3 movies. The cartoon still gets played. There's new cartoons, and what you can do is you can have this book is written in a way where you don't have to know ages and ages of continuity. You can just jump right in with the knowledge of the characters, and you can enjoy it.
Well, previously, like people would say, well, "What's the best X-Men comic you can give somebody?" And we'd be like, "Well, Dark Phoenix," but that's also 30 years old.
Yep.
So it's not the best thing giving somebody who really enjoyed the movies. This. Probably even more so than the Grant Morrison stuff.
Oh,
is just
definitely.
Much easier to grasp hold of, or also, people like Buffy the Vampire Slayer or like Firefly, but don't necessarily know to follow everything else that he did. This is something that Joss Whedon. This is a significant work of Joss Whedon.
For your Whedonite who doesn't know about this, although they probably would, but still, but someone who likes Buffy a lot, like a casual Buffy fan, will dig this.
Plus, this is the benefit of this is it's a self-contained story. It doesn't really get affected. As far as I remember, nothing really affected it. It was in its own bubble, so you can give this to somebody. Unlike, say, the other Omnibuy, and where they're going to be confused. This is one story. Yeah. You just have to know the character. In fact, I met a guy at a bar a couple months ago who had been out of comics for a long time. Found out what I did. Asked
Chelsea.
He asked what X-Men books he should read, and I told him you should get this because this is the book you'll be able to enjoy the most. It's the best, and you don't have to worry about anything else that's happened.
And there's tons of action, but also tons of character moments and
great stuff.
Relationships, and there's romance, and it's got a little bit of everything.
I think hardcore X-Men fans can love it.
Yeah.
Casual X-Men fans will love it. Yeah. I think people who like Joss Whedon will love it because it's very much. Buffy is very much alive in that book.
The best thing about it is you can read the next issue right away, as opposed to waiting 6 to 10 months.
We did.
And didn't Joss Whedon say he based Buffy off Kitty Pryde?
Yeah.
So, and Kitty Pryde's one of the main characters in the book. So the Buffy fan
basically
will like
a Buffy prequel. That's what we're selling it as.
Yeah.
Space Bullet.
Space Bullet.
Space Bullet.
Yep.
Space Bullet was pretty cool.
Space Bullet was very cool.
You said too much.
Finally,
let's wrap this up with something seasonal.
Seasonal.
For God's sakes.
Is this some sort of pamphlet we're showing people?
This is. We actually already talked about an L. Frank Baum story. This is A Kidnapped Santa Claus, as adapted by Alex Robinson.
This is the iFanboy Book of the Month for December.
Yes, it is. Yeah. See the timing I had on that
Look
one?
at that. Look at that timing.
This is...
It's almost like you planned it.
Alex Robinson is a cartoonist who's best known for Box Office Poison, Tricked, and Too Cool to Be Forgotten. All award-winning books. Really, really big books in the indie world. And this is the first time he's ever adapted anything. There is a 11-page, 100-year-old story by L. Frank Baum, who wrote The Wizard of Oz, about demons trying to ruin Christmas by kidnapping Santa Claus and what happens. And he was able to take that...
Is Lee Majors in this?
Lee Majors is not in this, as far as I know.
Yoink.
He used yoink as a sound effect.
Yeah, he did. Yoink. The thing is that he's adapted in such a way that... if you're a fan of Alex Robinson's books, there's little nods to things like that in it. A couple of people show up. I think you'll find Sherman in there somewhere or something like that, but just sort of as a little nod. But that stuff's not really important to it. It's also the first thing that he's ever written that is not filled with swearing and penises. So it's actually...
It's a landmark book.
Yeah, it's age appropriate. You can pretty much give it to anybody, and they're going to find something in it in that way. It's short. It's 67 pages, something like that.
It's seasonal. It's
seasonal.
Christmas when you got to go to that white elephant party.
It's entertaining, is what it is. It's a fun little book. It's not, you can read it in 1 or 2 sittings, and it's a neat little Christmas thing that you can give. That it's like a modern Christmas story, and you don't get a lot of those. That doesn't, it's not silly.
Yeah.
So what you're saying is there's no Lee Majors in this book?
Not even a little bit.
He doesn't save Christmas?
I don't even know what that means.
Scrooged.
I know.
Oh.
Your Lee Majors fans will not be...
He saved Santa Claus from being kidnapped.
Dudley Moore is not
with
in
a
it
big
either.
gun.
Bill Murray?
With an M60.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, so this is a ton of options for your holiday gift buying.
Let's recreate the tree. So there's things for everybody in here. You can find all these books will be listed at ifanboy.com. And
links to go purchase them.
Links to go purchase them. If you want to do your holiday shopping, go to ifanboy.com/Amazon. That links to our Amazon store. All these books will be listed, but you can not only buy these books, you can buy any books or anything just by going to ifanboy.com/Amazon. Click the link through the Amazon logo, takes you to Amazon. Helps us out.
Helps out in the process. It makes your Christmas shopping that much easier because Amazon ships. I do all my shopping on Amazon.
I did all my shopping last year from Amazon. I'll probably do it again.
Your shopping on Amazon.
Oh, I don't leave the apartment, so it brings it to me.
It's crazy. But so if you have any books that you think are good holiday gift items that we forgot about, you want to tell people, go to ifanboy.com or revision3.com/ifanboy in the forums and tell everybody about it.
You want to write in and tell us about what you got over Christmas, what you're getting, what you decide to wear on Christmas morning, whatever. Write to contact@ifanboy.com.
Yes.
And
you can call us, tell us what you got for Christmas.
I'm rebuilding the tree.
At 1-888-FANBOYS. It's 1-888-326-2697. It's his sister.
I know.
Happy holidays, everybody.
Happy holidays.
Get your damn hand off me.
Enjoy the love.
The good cheer lasted about 3 seconds.
Yeah.
We made a tree.
Why can't we have nice things?